5, Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Did he or any of his staff ask the Treasury to model the impact of adding interests on student loans as part of Budget 2012 preparations?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, as far as I can recall, no. As we made clear in the budget, the government's policy is to keep student loans interest-free.
Grant Robertson.
Question. Why then did Treasury develop the aid memoir dated 18th of January, savings associated with adding 2% interest to student loans, given the government's clear indication they weren't going to reintroduce student loans?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, I think Treasury have produced a similar aid memoir every budget, because every budget round starts with Treasury saying we should save several billion more than the government plans to save, and the list of savings becomes somewhat familiar from year to year.
Grant Robertson.
Why, if he didn't ask Treasury to undertake the work on adding interest to student loans, did they say in the aid memoir that they don't have the data or the experience in modelling student loans to give anything more than preliminary information?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I suppose they said that because it was true.
Supplementary question, the Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, to the Minister of Finance, is it true that the recommendations for savings that the Treasury brought to the Minister were all policies that were implemented by the Labor government, and does that speak volumes about what the Treasury thinks of Labor's economic management?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, Treasury does have a somewhat maybe has a nuanced view of Labor's economic management, but the public have a very clear view of it, which is that it's reckless and they don't want to borrow it.
Grant Robertson.
Does he still agree with the Prime Minister's view that interest-free student loans are economic vandalism and that he'll fight them with every bone in his body?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the government's policy has been quite clear.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
But it is, I think, Mr. Speaker, it's long been out of order to refer to any member, especially the Prime Minister, as being a jellyfish. That's just not on.
Order.
And the member should be required to withdraw.
Order. And it's just not on to make points of order like that either. The Speaker will be the judge of such matters. To answer the question asked, the Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, through the recession, the government has continued to support New Zealand households through maintaining interest-free student loans, working for families, significant growth in early childhood subsidies, because of the Prime Minister's view that in times of uncertainty, New Zealand households need security, and so we've kept those policies in place.
Grant Robertson.
Can he guarantee that while he is the Minister of Finance, interest will not be reintroduced on student loans?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, yes, and I can guarantee that that member's capacity as tertiary spokesman won't raise one single significant issue related to the portfolio either.
Question number 6, Scott Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Social Development and asks, what announcement has she recently made on the government's expansion of social workers in schools?
The Honourable Paula